I get a lot of inquiries. Hey, Pops, how do you go from that to this? And it's simply using this. Everybody's got some joint compound laying around in the shed or the garage. Usually it's probably gotten to the point where you can't use it for drywall anymore, but it makes great scenery. Get some compound on there, just work it into the hillside. I'm not worried about being neat. Actually, the more random you can be, the better. I'm just trying to take those straight edges, those contours, and you're just working them out. Trying to make it look just like what you would see on a hillside. And then you use the size of the knife and you start cutting some striations in there. Again, it's not complex. You may have to hit it 2 or 3 times to get the look that you're wanting. But when it dries nice and hard. It's ready for paint. We're covering up our hard shell and plaster with some common household latex paint. This was Aloof Gray. Sherwin-Williams. Folks, don't go out and buy new paint for this. There should always be some cans of it sitting around somewhere. And all I'm doing is pressing it in here. And if the little pieces break off, that's great. Becomes more happenstance, and I'm only worried about covering about 95% of it. I'm not worried about getting in every little nook and cranny. We're going to be applying several colors, stains and washes before we're done, as well as vegetation, just trying to get most of the surfaces. All right, we finished our gray. I'm going to come back with a little tan. This is relaxed khaki. I'm doing a little dirt road here. Basically just laying the groundwork for it. I'll cover it up as I go along, using it as glue. This kind of keeps the road nice and neat. I can come back after I'm done, just get it on there nice and thick. I have a little mixture here. Just spoon it in. Shake it in. And I'll leave this alone for half a day. I won't come back and disturb it. And I'll come in and vacuum the loose stuff so it doesn't get in the way of the next section when I either paint or use white glue. Do not worry about the semi-gloss look to it right now. I'm not, because when we're done, it'll all be matte. What we're going to use here is some acrylic paints that you can get at any craft supply store that making different brands. Going from left to right, we've got coffee bean, maple syrup, fawn, brown, and territorial beige. The red cup is water. And all we're going to do is wash these paints on in different locations, get effect that I want. And keep in mind that a lot of this is going to be hidden by the structures and the trees that we're going to be planting on this hillside. Keep working it around the base. Maybe a little darker at the bottom. Let it fade as it goes up. And again, the water will drag it back down. Water wants to go to its lowest level. Just try to get it into all these little nooks and crannies. All that rock work you did, now it's going to start popping out. If you don't like a piece of it, just snap it off. You can always add more. To me, this is the most relaxing part of this. Not a lot of effort. The hardest part is to avoid the temptation of putting vegetation on there right away. Thing is, if you were to do that right now, it would all get stained and be dirty looking. So you have to save all the ground foam and the vegetation to almost the very last. You'll see what I mean when we progress through this. Get back our beige. Again, like I say, it goes on a little thick at top, but it'll dry out. And then we're not even done. We'll be coming back in there with some black washes at the end and a little bit of highlighting. Really cap things off. Right now, this is the part where you just want to get all the coverage you can. We're going to step away and I'll show you what the finished result when I'm done. Next thing is the stain. We're going to take this black acrylic, pour it onto our palette. And we're really going to dilute this down with water. So our little red cup. Touch the paint. And this is really easy, folks. You just start at the top. And you let the paint and the water do the job. It's too easy, too easy. All you got to do is make sure you touch everything. If it comes out too dark, we just come back in with some water, and I'll show you. See, you may not look how dark that is. Just come back in, streak it down. It's going to dry a lot lighter than what you're seeing right now. And sometimes I have to come in here and hit it 2 or 3 times to get it to the shade of gray that I'm looking for. Just saturating the work, letting it streak down. Wasn't happy with this section. I came back and hit it with gray again. Now I'm ready for the stain. Now at this point, the black will run down, and so if any little pieces of white that you missed, it'll find them now. Easy and relaxing. You can do all this in about an evening. How about consistency and trying to do the same thing throughout the whole layout? How about that? Now I'll finish this up and let it dry overnight. And then we'll be ready for the highlighting. Okay, we've finished with our stains and our washes. This last phase of coloring, you could say it's kind of like the frosting on the cake. We're going to use white acrylic. More importantly, we're going to use a fan brush. Very important that we use a fan brush. Gives us the coverage we're looking for. And all we're going to do is lightly wipe off some of the white paint off the tips of the bristles. And watch this, watch this. Just going to stroke down. All strokes are going down. You're simulating fading. You're simulating sunlight. Hit it and move on. Fan brush will grab all those little crevices and protrusions. Really add some age to your rock strata. Always down, always down. No upstrokes, always down. Well, this will complete part one of scenery. Next I'll be putting in the foliage, the trees. Hope to see you there.